This episode on Focus on Health, we're talking all about breastfeeding and how you can be supported in your breastfeeding journey. Join us on Focus on Health. Welcome to Focus on Health. I'm Dr. Asante Hiltz, and I'm so excited about the topic we'll be discussing today, and that is breastfeeding, all about breastfeeding. If you're watching today though, before you change the channel, before you tune out, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'm not breastfeeding, this information is still very important because we want you to know how you can support other people and raise awareness about why breastfeeding is important and what resources are out there for people in our community who are interested in breastfeeding or need support during their breastfeeding journey. So I'm joined today by a very, very special guest, Melissa Glover. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Dr. Hiltz. How are you?
Wonderful. It's so great to have you here with us. We typically get some visitors from West Central Health District, our local health department, and we're so glad to have you for the first time on the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Yes, so my name is Melissa Glover. I am a IBCLC, which stands for Internationally Board Certified Lactation Consultant. So I went to school for a maternal health and wellness degree and concentrated in infant feeding because it's important to understand that there's not just one way to feed your baby and the support needed when making those decisions on how to feed your baby. So I went and got board certified to help moms on those paths to figuring out what ways best to feed their babies.
Well, that's important to us because we have done many shows on Focus on Health talking about adult feeding, how to eat better, how to integrate fruits and vegetables, how to lower sodium, all the things, right, about eating healthier, but we've never talked about infant feeding. So tell me what the acronym is again for your IB. Tell me again what it is.
So it's IBCLC, and it stands for Internationally Board Certified Lactation Consultant. And basically, I go and take a board test, just kind of similar to nurses and things like that. But I get the advantage of being able to work internationally anywhere in the world. So unlike the licensing procedures that some allied health professionals have to do, I don't have to take those additional licensures, and that I get to go anywhere in the world and be able to support families on their infant feeding journey.
Well, thank you for being here, because you could be anywhere else in the world,
Anywhere.
Internationally, but you're here with us in Columbus, Georgia, Chattahoochee Valley, where all aspects of health are important to us, and that's why we do this show. We want people to understand all the different ways that we can be healthier, starting in infancy. So when you're talking about infant feeding, explain to us what that means.
So infant feeding can look a variety of ways. Infant feeding actually starts in utero, actually when we are pregnant with our baby. So everything we are bringing into our bodies actually is providing nutrients to our babies. And during that time, people are going to be asking us, how do you want to feed your baby? And there's bottles, there's formula with bottles, there's breastfeeding, and a lot of people have different opinions on what breastfeeding is, whether it's from personal opinions, their own experiences of people they've known. Social media has a huge influence right now on what breastfeeding can look like. And so we talk as breastfeeding is also putting it in a bottle and pumping that milk. And so learning those different ways of what is the best way for you and your family to feed your baby. And so we talk about The differences between what's in formula, what is the composition of formula, how does that affect your baby, what's in breast milk, how does that affect your baby, what are the benefits of giving your baby breast milk versus formula. And so once baby arrives, giving them that education, that information, allowing them to make that informed decision on what's best for their family.
Well, I know you have given us some slides, so we're going to put your slides on the screen, but I want to start with the basics. Tell us, why is breastfeeding important?
So breastfeeding is important due to a couple of different reasons. So we do know that breastfeeding is the optimal health for infant nutrition. It has everything that a baby's going to need. And breastfeeding and breast milk, really, more so than the breastfeeding aspect of itself, adapts to what your baby needs. So it has all the vitamins, the minerals, everything your baby needs. And if your baby needs something more of one of the other, your breast milk can adapt to that. Where we know formula has a set amount of what is needed or based off regulations, and that's what's in them. So they start kind of there. So that's one of the great benefits of breast milk, is that it does allow that. With that on top of it, breastfeeding and breast milk actually have additional benefits to that. And so on top of that, you're getting health benefits for your baby. So we're looking at things such as reductions in ear infections, and we're looking at differences in diabetes. So we can even reduce the risk of diabetes in our children. Mothers get health benefits from breastfeeding. We reduce the chance of breast and ovarian cancer. They also can reduce the chances of diabetes for themselves as well. We have increased bonding. Those types of things are some of the really great benefits. Reduced health doctor visits is another great benefit of having the choice of doing breastfeeding.
And everything that you've mentioned so far is in alignment with the topics that we already discussed. How can we prevent further diabetes from spreading in our community? How can we lower depression? How can we prevent cancers like breast cancer, ovarian cancer? All the things that you just mentioned that come along with breastfeeding are part of keeping our communities healthy, starting with mommy and baby. So if you're listening today, there's a lot of ways that we can learn about breastfeeding and advocate and provide the best education for those who are living in the community.
Correct.
So tell me about the services that you all provide at West Central Health District in support of breastfeeding.
Yes. So the West Central Health District has some amazing breastfeeding services that we offer to the entire community. And so one of the first services is we have WIC, and WIC is a nutrition supplement program. It is income-based, but it has a peer counseling program in it. It also has a buddy specialist program in it. And so two of those pieces of that program is it allows you to connect with another mother who has been on WIC, so they understand the program, but they've also breastfed before. So they understand some of the challenges that have come along with breastfeeding. Then on top of that, we take them and then we get them specialized trained so that they can then counsel and support and educate mothers along to make that informed decision on what's going to be best for their family. After that, we have lactation consultants inside WIC. So those are those IBCLCs that you can come in and see for more of those issues that might be a little bit more of a struggle. So we sometimes will see mamas who are really struggling with that latch-in positioning, because that is a skill that we know is a learned technique. It's very similar to how we learn to talk, how we learn to walk, how we learn to eat. It has to be learned. And so if we're having some of those struggles, if we're really, really worried about our milk supply, because that's sometimes one of those number one problems that mamas have because we can't always see it. And so what we do is we can get them in with some of those specialized individuals. And I always tell all our moms that come into the health department, if I'm seeing them over at Valley Healthcare, or I'm seeing them up at Piedmont, I'm like, come in and see me. I'm always happy to come in and have you see me, and we'll work through what's going on. We also can help with breast pumps. And so one of the things that I'm really trying to help get through with in our health department, in our health district, is that breastfeeding is pumping too. There are some families who don't want to always direct latch, and that's okay. And pumping is still breastfeeding. And so we can help with pumping. We have, if you're a part of WIC, we are able to help get you some pumping parts. We can help get you a handheld part. And for our medically fragile babies, we're able to help get those hospital grade pumps loaned out to help give them the best fighting chance, because we know that milk has that extra antibodies, immunities to help them fight their big fight that they're going through. On top of that, WIC also has enhanced food packages for our mamas that are choosing to breastfeed. So their packages are much larger, because we know our breastfeeding mamas need that extra nutrients while providing breast milk, as well as they get to stay on the program for a whole year versus 6 months. So that's always really, really exciting. So that's one program that's available through the health department. Our other one is one of my second absolute favorites. It's called the Breastfeeding Connection. And this program is available to everybody.
So I know that you mentioned before that the other WIC services are only available to WIC eligible families, which
Correct.
is income-based. So is this program income-based also?
No, ma'am. This is available to everybody in the community. It does not matter. You can have insurance, don't have to have insurance. We do not look at income. We do not look at any qualifying factors. If you are pregnant, already breastfeeding, know somebody who's breastfeeding, we are happy to talk to you. We are inside the health department, so that's where you'll come and find us. We are located in the WIC building, so it is okay to come in and say, hey, I need to see the Breastfeeding Connection. But we also offer lactation assessments. We have that education. We offer education materials. We do classes. We can help with pumping parts as well. We have a little more flexibility with that. With our program, with the Breastfeeding Connection, we don't have the medically fragile pumps that we can help support with, but we can definitely help with creating those pumping schedules and any other additional support to help our medically fragile babies. But we have a lot of those, and it is available to everyone. All they have to do is come and find us and ask.
And the Breastfeeding Connection has the mom and the baby come to the health department. Is there any other opportunity for telehealth or coming to their home? Like, how does that look in terms of accessing the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we can absolutely do telehealth. So that's an option. Right now, we are working out what home visiting could look like. I would love to see that be a part of our program in the future. So fingers are crossed that that may be coming down the line. But telehealth, and then coming into the health department, and also up at the hospital. If they are needing supported up at the hospital, all they have to do is give us a call.
That gets me excited, because for those who are watching, this is another amazing resource, an opportunity for our families to be supported with breastfeeding support. And even if you aren't breastfeeding, if you're not in that place right now, but you know someone, this is a resource that you can share. This is why this show is so important, because there's tons of resources in our community. We just need to raise awareness about them. So we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about other breastfeeding support and upcoming events with Melissa in the West Central Health District. So we'll be right back with Focus on Health.
Georgia WIC is for families. In fact, it's for families like yours to learn about how to eat well and be healthy. WIC helps single dads, foster parents, and grandparents, and of course, pregnant, breastfeeding, and new moms take care of their children. Many Georgia residents qualify for WIC. That's right, anyone with children under 5 who meets the income requirements can apply. And it doesn't matter whether you receive other benefits like SNAP. When you're approved, you'll receive an eWIC card to buy healthy foods, and you'll learn more about your family's nutritional needs and how those needs change as your child grows. If you're pregnant, a breastfeeding mom, or a new mom, you'll receive personal support to provide for your growing family. And if you need help finding health care and other services, WIC will help with that too. WIC is for your family, because your children deserve a healthy start. Visit wic.ga.gov to learn more.
Welcome back to Focus on Health, and we are joined today by Melissa Glover from the West Central Health District, and we're learning all about breastfeeding support, and why breastfeeding is important to our moms, our babies. This is another pillar of our community of how we can be healthier and lead healthier lives. So Melissa, we have learned so much so far about why breastfeeding is important, why it helps the baby be healthier, why it helps the mom be healthier, and all of the different services that West Central Health District offers. So now I want to talk a little bit about the additional resources and the events that you guys have, because that's another great way to build awareness and for us to share about what's going on. So what's happening on a monthly basis at the district?
Oh my gosh, so much happens monthly. So monthly, there are two of my favorite things that happen. So we offer a free Breastfeeding 101.
Say it again, Melissa. It's free.
Free.
I love that.
Breastfeeding 101. So we know that in our community, there's just not enough breastfeeding classes out there. And so sometimes those breastfeeding classes you have to pay for. Sometimes you have to be registered with a certain hospital to take them. And that's just not fair, because everyone deserves to be prepared to breastfeed their baby and put that in their plan. So at the West Central Health District, it's normally, sometimes it might swap up a little bit, normally the third Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. we have Breastfeeding 101, and you get to come and hang out with myself and one of our amazing WIC nutritionists who put this class on for, we say it's an hour, however, we end up with such an engaging class and laughs and questions and answers that it sometimes goes over. We can be a little chatty, but it's okay. But we give them the basic foundation. I try not to go into too much detail on the parts of actually when baby gets here, but I want them to have the knowledge and the understanding of how milk works, how supply is built, and those important pieces, how to advocate for yourself and your baby in the hospital so that they are prepared when they get there. We typically do recommend taking the class in the third trimester, just so that that information's a little bit fresher for our families, but they are more than welcome to take it as many times as they feel they need. They can take a one-on-one class if they feel they need that more personalized support. They can just let me know they need more of a one-on-one support. And then we also encourage mamas after baby's born, if they feel that they need that refresher, up to 6 to 8 weeks after, because we know that sometimes those hiccups in breastfeeding can still happen.
And we have the screen up showing that Breastfeeding 101 class.
Yes.
So if you're watching, get out your phone, take a picture of it, scan the QR code so that you can register, or you can post it to your social media and share it with others in your community who may be able to take advantage of this class. And Melissa, you said a very important thing. We want people to be able to advocate for themselves. So no matter what topic we're discussing, we remind everybody, we are not your medical provider. We aren't your doctor. We want to give you the information so that you can go to your provider, whoever that is, and share what's important to you and know how to advocate for yourself best.
Correct. It is very important, and I love teaching my mamas to advocate for themselves, and I love watching my moms being able to come back knowing they advocated for themselves and to see the progress that they're making in their parenting journey and their infant feeding journey once they're able to achieve that.
Wonderful. And the Breastfeeding 101 class, is everybody eligible to come participate in that?
Yes, ma'am. It is through WIC and the Breastfeeding Connection put it on. So anybody in the community is more than welcome to join us on usually the third Saturday of every month.
Awesome. Any other monthly events?
Yes, so this next one is, not that Breastfeeding 101 is not my favorite, but this next one is called Mommy and Me, and it is probably my absolute favorite part of every month. So this group actually started off as a breastfeeding support group. It still is very breastfeeding heavy, so we do come in there. We have lots of moms that range from prenatal to postpartum, very far into their postpartum journey. But this group now has become a village for so many people. So Mommy and Me now allows people to come and lean on each other through all different parts of parenting, whether that's what did you have after birth, or what did you put in your birthing plan? I'm pumping and my phalanges hurt, and I heard that you could use this kind of lubricant, and someone else comes in with something else. It gives them the opportunity to lean in on each other. What did you use best for cradle cap? And to watch these women in our community, and they bring their partners, they bring their other children. It's so funny during sports season to watch these families join us from their kids' practices. We have families that will join us from the hospital bed. We have families that are cooking dinner and are tuning in, or they are listening in from work. They can type in the chat their questions, and they come in and they just lean on each other. And and I always let families know that come in, sometimes they can get very breastfeeding heavy, because we do want to highlight the importance of breastfeeding. We do want to make sure we're answering any questions for anyone who may have come into Breastfeeding 101, who may have had additional questions that didn't get them answered. But we also know in parenting, and especially as breastfeeding families, we need that additional village. You can have the greatest support system around you, but sometimes you need that person who's living that same experience or has had that experience, because we know all breastfeeding journeys are so different, but there's probably someone out there who's experienced what you've gone through.
Absolutely. And we understand why that's important, because when we do this show, we always bring somebody on who's had the lived experience. When we spoke about depression and mental health, we had someone come on with lived experience for that. When we talked about diabetes, when we talked about substance use, all those things is important to speak to someone who's gone through that journey. Likewise with breastfeeding.
Yes.
You all who are watching, if you have someone who's going through the breastfeeding journey or preparing for that, this is an opportunity for them to engage and not be alone. We're not alone here.
We're not alone.
And we're here to help.
Yes. So it is my favorite. I look forward to them every month. And sometimes we end up talking about crock pot recipes. I think one time we ended up talking about a portion of it on gardening. So it's just a really great place to come and just continue to build your village, because we are not supposed to parent alone.
Wonderful. And the other thing that I do know is that every August, we have a promotion on the Big Latch On.
Yes.
And I know that you guys always have a special event wrapped around the Big Latch On to advocate for breastfeeding in the community. So talk to us about what you got up your sleeve this year.
Oh, this year I'm super excited. So this year we are having an event. We're gonna kick it off a little before August, so July 31st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Valley Healthcare. We will be having the Baby and Beyond Community Bash. And this year it will host the Big Latch On. So this is how we are going to kick off with the West Central Health District and Valley Healthcare. We are going to kick off World Breastfeeding Month. We are going to have food trucks. We are going to have community vendors for additional resources. WIC will be there. The Breastfeeding Connection will be there, and other great sources in there. We're going to, like I said, have the food trucks. We're going to have face painters. We're going to have amazing giveaways. The Atlanta Falcons actually gifted us a signed football to do as a giveaway. We've got some baby wraps that we're going to be giving away. There's going to be baby shower games with additional prizes. There's just going to be so much going on. It's going to be so much fun. And then we will have the Big Latch On happen as well to kick off awareness in our community for breastfeeding, to really get everybody empowered for August, to support those in the community for breastfeeding, but also just to celebrate the moms and babies and families in our community.
That's wonderful. I'm excited about it. And I just want to make sure I clarify, this baby bash happening on July 31st at 5 p.m. is open to anyone in the community.
Every single person in the community. We want them there. We want to see their faces. We want them to have fun with us. We want them to see what resources are available in their community. We want them to learn about breastfeeding. We want them to see it happening, because the more we are able to help promote that in our community, the more that they may not know somebody directly that is breastfeeding, but sometimes that stuff sticks in the back of our head, and down the road they might find somebody or know somebody or see something, and they'll be like, oh, hey, I know where you can go get help. Or, oh, hey, I remember hearing this. And that information travels so far. So everyone in the community is welcome. We want to see them there. We want to see you there. Come see us July 31st, 5 to 8.
Awesome.
Valley Healthcare.
Awesome. And so if anyone wants to contact you or West Central Health District to get any more information, what's your contact information?
So they can contact me at melissa.glover@dph.gov. No, melissa.glover@dph.ga.gov, or 706-604-5247 is my cell. And I also can get texts, so they can always call or text too.
Wonderful. We want to thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us today on the show, for really highlighting breastfeeding, why it's important, how it impacts overall life, and how we as community members, partner agency advocates can also join hands with you and advocate for breastfeeding. So thank you.
No, thank you for having me. This was wonderful. I enjoyed my time, and I really, really appreciate you spreading this great word on breastfeeding and letting our community hear and know more about it.
Well, thank you, Melissa. Thank you all for joining us today. You heard it best here on Focus on Health. Breastfeeding is important. It impacts overall health. It impacts our babies, our moms, and the whole community. So tell someone who you know about the benefits of breastfeeding and share the community resources that Melissa has shared with us. Come out to the Baby Bash at the end of the month and join us. Thank you, and we'll see you next time on Focus on Health.